All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. This is going to be, well, not me. I don't know why it says my name up there, but this is going to be FoCuS and SOC going up against Infi and Kaho. Let's get the ally colors on properly. So we have FoCuS spawning here, SOC spawning here, going up against Infi, who is spawning here, and then finally Kaho, who is spawning here. Should be a great game. It should be a fun game to watch two 2v2 teams go at it, and both of them being very well strong teams, very strong players. Sweet Crota live. I think there's a comma there, right? Or like the way you described me was like sweet live shrimp, right? I'm just like, no, I don't want to be eaten. Anyways, let's go ahead and make our way into this matchup. 2v2 here on Lost Temple. Now, it's going to be a little bit of time before we see what those heroes are going to be trained, and then we can start formulating a strategy. AM and well, summons normally very common, but no, FoCuS going for that classic Blade Master instead. Still waiting to see if we see a Voodoo Lounge, and I do not expect to see any fast tech to tier 2s. If you try to fast tech to tier 2 in a 2v2 and your opponents are very much on the same page and they figure out that you are fast teching the tier 2, you'll find that the natural base defense doesn't hold up well in a 2v1 fight as it does in a 1v1 fight for obvious reasons. Didn't think of it that way. Anyways, let's make our way through. Footman, Archmage, was about to watch the Dice Death Note game and thought, let's see if he's live. Oh, well. The Dice Death Note game is definitely a fun one to watch. Definitely head on over to my YouTube channel after. Just thought I'd quickly go live to see if anyone would join me for this game here. I did wake up a little bit early or a little bit later than normal, so not going to be able to cast nearly as much or as long as I wanted to. All right, making our way through. So this Ancient of War taking quite a bit of damage. Demon Hunter doesn't turn on Immolation, so perhaps going to try for something else here. Meanwhile, we're looking at the 4 Soul Berserkers getting taken down. You can see those big hits from that Ancient of War nearly finishing off the target there, as the Demon Hunter now going to get in a couple more hits finally. 4 Soul Shadow Priest, Ancient of War. Well, even though it took a large amount of damage, I'm still going to be okay. We can see that there is an expansion attempt here, but with an expansion attempt, you are still able to continue to train up more units and stay in a tier 1 longer. We are looking at a possible expansion attempt coming in from SOC as well, getting up that scout tower, that arcane tower first, and trying to turn this into a longer economic game. Now, at nightfall, the Lost Temple here kind of opens up and more things do happen. Blade Master being brought back over. Are we going to see a mana burn? We do, and that's going to limit the amount of wind walks that we can see here. Oh, the Wisp did not get taken out. Are we going to see the Wisp lost here? You can see that the Blade Master wants to try to get this final shot off and finish off this Wisp. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter chasing after that Grunt, and now in comes the Blade Master going after that target right there, and he does end up, well, getting taken down. Blade Master is going to try and mana burn. No, he's not. Archer is trying to get into position. There's a mana burn again, and the Blade Master, well, pretty much going to fall a little bit short overall as more archers are still being trained. All right, tech to tier 2 already underway by Infi. So Infi and Kaho, well, trying to tech to tier 2 and also trying to set up an expansion. Meanwhile, SOC is training up more units. We are taking the tier 2 off to the north here, but FoCuS did that a little bit earlier, and now still has grunts to try and shut down the expansion of Kaho. So Kaho not going to be able to easily get that economic advantage, or perhaps even try to get to equal economic footing, but in comes a large army by Infi. All right, Infi bringing in a large army here. Are we going to see a mana burn? No, we are not. That one arcane tower going to provide a bit of cover. And here we go. Do I need to do ally colors again? Yes, there we are. So Demon Hunter going to continue that fight here. Demon Hunter getting arcane feedback pretty much to death right now. Getting forced to retreat back here. But do remember that that there is a surround onto the Archmage now. AM in some serious trouble. He's trying to break free from this tough spot. There's a Scroll of Town Portal. AM sitting at about, well, a quarter or what, 20% of his life, being forced to retreat back here. And Infi in a tough spot forced to scroll of town portal back to the other side of the map, perhaps head to the fountain of health. There's a couple of archers hidden here as a footman now chasing after this wisp. All right, that footman gonna position himself in a way where the Ancient of War cannot easily get to him. Meanwhile, the Archmage is trying to clear out of the temple here on Lost Temple to perhaps get to level 3. A lot of shadow melded archers holding off in the center here. A little bit of poison getting spread out across multiple targets. There is a lot of damage, or a fair amount of damage onto these footmen as well. Are they going to head back, perhaps try and head over to an arcane vault and a scroll of regeneration? Only time can tell, as the AM here of Infi wants to get to level 3. All right, is going to be interrupted. There's another, oh, mana burn just a split second late to prevent the water elemental. That could have been a little bit of a shift there. There's a deny on that water elemental once more as the units are falling back again. 18 hit point footmen. Perhaps where is going to try to run off to? Blade Master and Grunt. They're now trying to, well, heal up at that fountain of health, but that is not going to work out well as the creeps are still doing quite a bit of damage. Hex onto the AM. AM in a little bit of trouble trying to retreat back there. Scroll of speed, well, in a little bit of a pursuit as the AM now heads back home to the southern side. All right, still a little bit of traffic here on the southern portion of the map because of the Null Brutes and the Poachers just blocking the path here, making that retreat a little bit more difficult. All right, more engagements, more attacks. We're looking at, well, another 2 hours in-game time before these creeps wake up. AM may actually get to level 3 off of those creeps as we're looking at, well, some damage now coming back across. All right, this Null Overseer, is he going to get Stormbolted and surrounded? He is. This is going to open up, well, nope, I think there's too many heroes out here. Yeah, simply too many heroes. Mountain King does have a Mana Stone now. That is going to help out perhaps for some big Stormbolts in the coming moments. Getting both of these powerful items, Potion of Invulnerability. AM now at level 3, opts to go for level 1 Brilliance Aura, or I believe it's going to be Brilliance Aura, as we're looking at the Null Wardens now getting taken out here. All right, a little bit of a chase. These units trying to retreat back. The expansion down here on the southern side getting pressured. Swirl of Town Portal as Kaho is going to perhaps try and teleport back down, and here is the AM. There's also a Priest as well. Stormbolt onto Raider. Raider going to get taken down easily, and now the Mountain King, perhaps with that health or Mana Stone, should be able to get in even more bolts as well. So you can see that the Water Elemental going straight after that Priest there who has that unarmored armor type, and that's exactly what you're looking to see, targeting the right unit at the right time as, well, the Rabbit crossing the road slows down the Mountain King just enough to prevent a Stormbolt onto a Grunt. Mountain King will get to level 2 here, get a little bit more mana. Level 1 Brilliance Aura. No, this is not live. Coming back down, Mountain King finishing off a little Poacher there. Priest now making their way down. All right.
Players' forces are under attack.
Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, Raiders. Looking to head off to this Goblin Merchant shop, perhaps clear it up as well. And Rock Golem is going to get taken out. Meanwhile, on the southern portion here, Ogre Lord, well, Water Elemental, shot Stormbolt onto the Ogre Lord. Water Elemental, remember, if you ensnare the Water Elemental by the creeps, it doesn't get targeted at all, and it doesn't actually do any of that tanking. Alright, coming back down, Ogre Lord. Easily going to get cleaned up here. Meanwhile, AM and Footman Army making their way down to try and shut down Infi's expansion here on the southern portion. Alright, Arcane Tower removing much of that mana. Needs to go down onto that Mountain King. Mountain King now losing much of the mana. And one Stormbolt already gone. Another Stormbolt could be gone as well. There you go. Another Stormbolt gone. And now in comes the army here. Riflemen are in position. There's a big, massive Thunderclap. All the priests now trying to retreat back out. And that's going to be some damage as well. One priest was lost here. A couple of riflemen. There goes another footman as well. Stormbolted before it was able to fall back. Meanwhile, FoCuS now comes in with an army of raiders, and well, with so much siege damage, can easily shut this down. A lot of ensnares going down as well, and Kaho most likely going to lose this expansion all the repairs underway. Demon Hunter with Invul Potion, and that is still lost there. All right, damage still trying to rack up. Demon Hunter trying to come out on top here. Is the Naga Sea Witch going to be enough here, as the Demon Hunter's invulnerability should be coming to an end. Blade Master seeing that level 3. Demon Hunter trying to go after another Raider as well. So what we saw here was during that time when they were trying to focus down that Tree of Life, a lot of, oh my goodness, wow, that Raider going to go ahead and get in and snare off Stormbolt going back the other way. But yeah, as the Raiders were trying to take down the Tree of Life, they ended up becoming just massive targets in that exchange and trade, as a Goblin Shredder now falls in from the sky to say, hello, how do you do? Infi now losing a good number of peasants here, as we see, well, the elevator picking them back up, at least for now. Trying to disrupt the mining of your opponent. And then, well, having that affect how many units are on the battlefield. Nicely done so far, as Infi trying to build a blacksmith here. Water Elemental now getting summoned up. Are we going to get, well, found out? That is the question, as this Arcane Tower may end up getting taken down. All right, Arcane Tower down to 92 hit points. One or two more shots. It looks like that is going to get repaired. No, oh my gosh, no, it does not. Ends up falling that 34 to 61 damage on that Goblin Shredder. In fact, very high. Very effective when dropped into positions such as that. Ogre Mauler now going to get taken down. Demon Hunter sitting at level 3.5. Naga Sea Witch sitting at 2. Tree of Life trying to be rebuilt here. So expansion-wise, we are 3 bases to 3 bases, even though Infi has, well, did delay his mining a couple of times inside his main base here. All right, Raiders doing their good job against Night Elf, ensnaring those Dryads, forcing engagement, as those Dryads that are unarmored end up, well, falling very quickly at the hands of these Raiders. One at a time, these Dryads are falling, and Kaho now being forced to retreat back in a little bit of trouble. 35 over 60 supply compared, and 47 compared to a massive 72 and a respectable 50. Goblin Shredder continuing to just cause problems anywhere on the map, as the Ancient of War tries to fight back here. Staff of Teleportation inbound. That is going to be the Mountain King. Mountain King quickly Stormbolts a target. Stormbolt's a Raider. I don't believe that was the target that he really wanted. Mountain King still has a good amount of, well, items, so the Mountain King could be really strong here. Still has a Mana Stone. Are we going to see some more Stormbolts? There's another big Thunderclap. There's a Stormbolt healing wave keeping them alive, as the Mountain King, well, waiting for that Mana Stone. Well, waiting to use that Mana Stone. All right, we're looking at the Ancient of War. That's, excuse me, well, Raider getting taken down. We're looking at more ensnares going across, and the Tree of Life just gets completed, only to see a bunch of Raiders surrounding it. Wisp unable to repair. There's another Thunderclap to try and slow things down a bit, but is it going to be enough? I do not believe so. All right, in comes some more units again. Well, Infi trying to do a tactical run here. Are we going to see another Stormbolt onto any of those other units? No, we do not. Mountain King realizing it wasn't going to get the job done. All right, back to the southern side here. We're looking at the, well, Blade Master trying to put in pressure. No, Mountain King coming back across again. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? We do. Staff of Teleportation the other way. In comes the Demon Hunter. And now there's a Stormbolt onto the Mountain King, followed by a Mana Burn. But the army sizes, I believe, just too large. Too many riflemen going up against too few spellbreakers. Even with all of the healing going on, it's going to be an uphill battle as the Demon Hunter tries to retreat back. Are we going to see another Mana Burn? There's another Mana Burn there. And now some slow poison damage onto that Mountain King. Archmage says, you know what? I don't want to risk losing my Mountain King. Are we going to see the Mountain King lost there? No. He's able to escape away at 160 some odd hit points. Now getting healed back up at home.
Players' forces are under attack.
2-0 upgrade on Socks. Riflemen here. Meanwhile, Spellbreakers are upgraded 1-1. Off to the north, well, Raiders are upgraded 1-1 as well. Shadowhunter picks up a, well, Ring of Protection +3 could be useful here, as the Mountain King needs some more items, getting up a Scroll of Healing, but may get caught away from the base. This is a little bit tough. AM here. Mountain King trying to push in pressure, but, well, catching all of these units in a different spot. There's a Stormbolt onto the Mountain King. Mountain King could end up getting surrounded. He's going to try to get a Thunderclap there. Slows everything down, as the Priest are going to get, well, picked off in a human versus human fight. We often know that it is Priest battles where the Riflemen, well, the riflemen are able to poke down those priests so quickly because of that armor discrepancy as the units are looking to engage again. All right, lucky bash onto the Spellbreaker here. Units continuing to make their way through. There's a clarity potion used by the Mountain King. And, well, perhaps going to turn things back around and try to fight with uphill advantage. Oh, this is a beautiful spot. All right, he realizing that uphill advantage here, he retreated into a position where the further range units are going to try to shoot uphill while their Spellbreakers can easily attack downhill. All right, coming back through. Some smart plays by Infi, but is it enough to get back into this game? That is the question. 47 supply and 47 supply compared to 49. And, well, Sock, who has not gotten pressured that much, is sitting at a very comfortable 73. All right. AM trying to throw down a couple of water elementals here, perhaps. We need to see some thunderclaps to slow things down. That town hall is suffering quite a bit of damage. Mountain King coming back around the other side. He needed to teleport over here in order to get some thunderclaps down to save that town hall, but did not get that. Mountain King gets mana burn here. This Mountain King still has plenty of mana, goes amongst the sea of units, throws down a slow clap to try and finish off more and more. Still has a potion of mana, may try to use the potion of mana and get another thunderclap again. There it goes. There's that potion of mana. There's a thunderclap. More units getting taken down, but this base has already been lost. He's just trying to punish his opponent for coming into that risky position. Scroll of healing used, but the Mountain King does get taken down at level 4, and now, well, I believe it's just a matter of time. And Demon Hunter of Kaho gonna fall as well. There goes the Blade Master, but with an Ankh of Reincarnation bringing him back. Well, FoCuS's Blade Master was never really down for the count. Strong game by Infi. Kaho getting pressured a lot, and FoCuS being able to do those hit and run tactics with those raiders to shut down key buildings, even though it, well, did feed a little bit of experience at a time. The economic advantage and, well, Sock being able to just mine all of that gold in peace. Look at that gold difference and that gold lost to upkeep. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.